Sony Alpha 7R Mark II, is it worth for nature photography? When we think about nature photography cameras, we've got plenty of choices, like Nikon Z9, Sony Alpha 1 and Canon EOS R3, just to talk about the flagships, but without forgetting the many others really good cameras. In an age of artificial intelligence, does the Alpha 7R Mark II make sense yet? Let's go to discover. Good morning guys and welcome back to Nature Photography Gear channel. I've been using the Sony Alpha 7R Mark II for many years now, and I know pros and cons of that camera. Let me say that despite many problems of that camera, I can say that it's still good, even for nature photography. But let's go in order. Since Sony has presented the Alpha 7R Mark II in 2015, a lot of water flown under bridges, and nowadays we've got better cameras. But the first time I handled the camera, I had a good feeling. The first picture had a wow effect, mostly for the sharpness, and every time was a pleasure to use it. And now, okay, you know, I'm nature photographer. I love wildlife as well as landscape. So with the Alpha 7R Mark II, I took and I still take landscape images. I also know that it's not perfect and sometimes you can experience some issue, mostly with the autofocus system with moving subjects. In fact, this camera for wildlife photography is not really suitable, at least in my opinion, and at least in every situation. Yes, because in some particular situation can be used. But let's see the main features of the camera. 42 megapixel full-frame sensor with BSI technology, where BSI means backside illumination, 399-point phase detection autofocus, 5-axis stabilizer, 4K video recording capability, color profile for video in S-Log2, 2.36 million dot viewfinder, magnesium body with professional finish, continuous shooting at 5 frames per second, 3-inch tiltable rear screen, autofocus even with not native lenses. What on all the mirrorless cameras was an Achilles heel until a few years ago on the Sony Alpha 7R Mark II is a strong point. In fact, the focus system of this Sony is fast and accurate, thanks to the presence of a large number of phase detection focus points that cover above the 50% of the sensor, enough to have precise and rapid tracking of most movements. Even better is the autofocus response in low light. When the Alpha 7R Mark II is combined with fast lensing, it performs better than most high-end DSLR. The precision of the lens depends on the fact that the mirrorless use the aperture maximum speed of the lens to focus. The eye tracking function is also very interesting. Basically, it's possible to set a button to call up this function and make the camera recognize the closest eye in the frame and immediately put it in fire. This makes the Alpha 7R Mark II a very effective portrait camera, but compared to a most modern camera like the old Sony Alpha 9, the autofocus system of the Alpha 7R Mark II looks like a dinosaur, and sometimes the camera loses some shoot in action photography. Finally, a special mention should be made of compatibility with third-party optics. Mirrorless cameras, as you know, can be used also with not native lenses, just using an adapter. A brand-specific adapter. The beauty of this camera is that it manages to provide effective autofocus, even with adapted lenses. It is therefore possible to use Canon or Nikon autofocus lenses without the need to work only in manual focus when taking photographs. The Sony Alpha 7R Mark II sensor is really good, having a very wide dynamic range of almost 14 stops, as well as a color depth of 26 bits. Despite the resolution of 32 megapixels, the sensor manages high ISO value really well, up to 6400 ISO or more, without adding so much chromatic noise. At the same time, the larger number of pixels enables to crop easily, having again a good level of detail. Thinking about landscape photography, this camera would be perfect for every landscaper when wanting to achieve the best quality for their own images. Despite this camera is not like the Alpha 7RII S series, has good video features like microphone input and headphone monitoring, ability to install color profiles, possibility to use flat recording mode S-Log2, focus peaking and zebra stripe for key recording. The video autofocus is pretty good and works properly. even though in some cases I had the wrong focusing, but it could be my mistake. So now I think I'm gonna take, yes, as I said, some landscape pictures as well as some wildlife picture, maybe of some birds, or at least I hope so. Okay, there was a little bird. Oh yes, the butterfly now. Yes, very good. Very well, and now it's time to go home to check out the picture taken with the Sony Alpha 7R Mark II. Okay guys, it's time to come to a conclusion. First of all, let's see the wildlife photography part. In situations like that, to be honest, this camera is not really suited because of the only 5 FPS and the autofocus system not really responsive. So in many cases, I missed some shots, or they were out of focus, mostly with subjects in motion, whereas with static subject, this camera gives us beautiful images. But for landscape photography, this camera is magic. The image quality is awesome, and even you make some exposition mistake with its sensor, it's easy to recover it in post-production. So, in conclusion, this camera for nature photography is still good. Of course, it's voted more for landscape photographer as well as for macro photography, and in some way also for wildlife photography, but only with static subjects, as I said before. Very well, tell me your thought, guys. I'm pretty curious to know what you think and your experiences, and don't forget to push the like button and why not subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, see you next time, bye bye.